Hey everybody, here we have the Mr. Rosin installation procedure straight out of the box. We got a couple of things that we need to install to get it going. Here we got the lever. Here we have the air in from your air compressor. And here we have your regulator with water separator. So the function of this bulb right here is if air is coming in from your air compressor and it has water in the line, what this does is this is going to let the water out. So this valve is always open until air pressure starts pressing on it, and then it's going to close the valve. So it requires 30 psi in order to close this valve. So if you're looking at your air compressor and you're wondering why water or air is leaking out of this valve, it's more than likely because there's not 30 psi built up in your air compressor yet. So one way to get away from that is just disconnect the air line from your air compressor, let the air compressor build up some pressure, and then go ahead and plug it in, and then this should instantly pull shut like that. On top here we have a nut. This is going to be the nut that keeps it attached to the main part right here. So we got this guy right here, and this is going to go straight in. What I've done is remove the nut. This is going to go straight in, and then it's going to come down. But before that, there's a hose right here. I'm just going to go ahead and connect this to that hose. Now these are quick fittings, quick connect fittings, so when you push this in, the hose will pull out. So on one side, on the left side, this is going to be the outermost side. You're going to go ahead and take your air inline from your air compressor, and you're just going to go ahead and push that in there like that. Now that guy is in there and secure. Now I'll take this other one right here that's coming around the front from the switch, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to push that in there. Now there's not a way to do it wrong, but you cannot push hard enough and it won't snap in there. So you really want to make sure that it gets a nice snug snap in there. And then I'll just go ahead and put the thing up in there. There's a little bump right there to make sure that you get it on there straight. Once it's all lined up, you just go ahead and screw that in. Now that there is installed. So I'm just gonna lean my hose up on it right there. And then now for the lever, I'll come in and do this a little bit closer for you. See if we can get this. Okay, so here's the lever. If you notice, it's missing two things. So one, we have a hole right here. Let's see if we can focus on that. There we go. Okay, so we got one hole here, and then we have one hole here. This is going to be the plunger. This guy goes up and down right here. See that? Okay, so we have a couple of pieces here. This is the actual handle. This is going to be the pin that goes on the outermost hole, and this is going to be the pin that goes on the innermost hole. The way this works is it goes like this, and then the silver pin goes through that hole right there. So let's go ahead and assemble this right now. Get my camera set. Okay, so first I'm going to take the black pin, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it in here. You could put it in either from the front or the back. I'll put it in from the back so you could just see it go in there. Okay, there it is, and it's just going to set inside of there. So if it's wobbly or anything, that's okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my handle and put my handle right inside of there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now your handle is secured. Somewhat, it's partially secured. So then I'm just going to go ahead and line it up with this hole right here, and I'm going to get the silver pin right here, and I'm just going to push this through. This one I'm going to want to push through the front because I'm going to have to bend these little prongs down, and I don't want that to stick me when I'm not looking. So I'll just wiggle that into place, and then I'm going to go ahead and use some standard pliers just to bend this down real quick. I don't want to hurt myself. Okay, bent down. This is what it looks like. Oops, there we go. Focus. 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 Oh. Oh, there he goes. Okay. So see that little pin right there? It's now attached and it's holding this guy into place. So it just goes up and down like that. Now this guy, it's got a little notch in there, so it's not going to fall out now that this handle is in there. It's in there for sure. Alright, now while we're up close and personal with these guys, these are your speed fittings right here. This is going to determine how fast your ram, or how fast your plate goes up and down. Here's your plates. This guy goes up and down. Now air comes out of this. When air goes into one and to the up, the air that's already in the cylinder is going to come out of one of these two vents. So every time you push this lever up, air is either going to come out the top or the bottom, depending on if the press is going up or down. So now what these do, when you screw it all the way in, it makes it so the air takes a long time to come out. So the tighter it is, the longer it's going to take for the ram to go up. And then the looser it is, the less time that it's going to take for the ram to go up. So since we already have all of this connected now, we'll just go ahead and plug it into the air compressor. I'll do a little air compressor video later on. We'll go down to like Harbor Freight and Lowe's and talk about that stuff. Alright, so I'm going to put you on pause for a second and I'll be right back.